and welcome to another FAQ Monday. I'm your host, Fluff, and I have something special for you guys. I have questions, and then you're gonna watch and or listen to me answering those questions. Original idea. You know what? I think it's gonna really take off. Maybe I'll do another episode after this. Hi Fluff, I really enjoy your content. How do you feel about EVH guitars? I don't ever hear you mention them. Thanks, rock on. Frank, thank you so much for the question. I'm a huge fan of the EVH guitars. They do teeter on, on the edge of being too small for my largeness. I'm kind of a big dude, and guitars can tend to look kind of small on me. However, those longtime watchers will briefly remember I did have it was like a first year EVH Wolfgang special. It was like a 2011 when they were still coming with all the American hardware on them. What a phenomenal guitar. What an amazing, incredible guitar. That's actually one guitar I really regret getting rid of. At the time that I got rid of it, I had just tons and tons and tons of guitars. I was at my old house and the room was kind of limited. I didn't have a storage space or anything, and I was kind of going nuts for the Gibson thing. I didn't play it all that much, although I did have several bands use it to record. It was a really, really great recording guitar. Miss that guitar. Miss it a lot. But overall, all the EVH stuff is great. I should get another Wolfgang. I thought about getting a Frankie, because the Frankie is definitely more my speed, Strat style body. But yeah, I don't know. I think that would look kind of weird on me. I don't know. EVH guitars on me, I don't know. I feel like I should be shredding on the guitars. Although I think that's just, that's something I've made up in my head. Want to riff on an EVH. I don't know. Maybe I'll hit up EVH and see what they got as far as EVH guitars. But yeah, I did have a special, and it was lovely. Thoughts on Corrosion of Conformity and Woody/Pepper as a guitar duo? Troy, that is a fantastic question. I am a huge Corrosion of Conformity fan. Pepper Keenan and Woody are just an incredible guitar duo. Highly underrated, I would say, as far as 90s guitar duos go. My first introduction was the Deliverance album to Corrosion of Conformity, and I bought the second album, Wise Blood. There it is. Couldn't remember the title. I bought Wise Blood actually the day it came out on cassette, and I used to bump that thing so much. Actually, I'm pretty sure I wore out a couple of Wise Blood tapes, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, great guitar tone, great riffs, very creative riffs for Corrosion of Conformity, and just when those two get together, it's just magic happens, and I love that magic. My ear holes definitely love it as well. Did you have any ridiculous misconceptions about guitars before you started playing? For example, as a kid, I thought tremolos were microphones that picked up the sound of the strings. Facepalm emoji. Tom Buck, who's a fantastic YouTuber if you're into podcasting and audios and camera stuff. Tom, thank you so much for your question. Also, go look Tom up. Go and sub to him. I will link down below in the description. That's what I'm gonna do. Tom, to answer your question, I did have a few misconceptions before I started playing guitar. Actually, when I started playing guitar, I had some misconceptions as well. I distinctly remember, this is funny to even talk about. I've never talked about this, not a single time, because I felt embarrassed when I eventually figured it out. When I got my first guitar and I figured out how to use the tuners, I thought I was the smartest dude ever by marking where the tuner was, because I was like, all these people that keep tuning their strings, I'm gonna mark where the tuner is. That way I always know where the proper pitch is. Haha, I'm smart. I didn't know strings stretched over time, like when they were new and things like that. I just, where the wood expands and contracts, things change, so you always have to readjust the tuning on your guitars. I didn't know that. I didn't understand that concept. So I would mark the tuning, and then like a week later, the low E would be a little bit more this way. So then I would I think I was doing this with a pencil, so then I would erase the pencil mark and then make another one. That's hilarious. Another misconception I had is people playing solos. I thought they were just getting really lucky of where they were hitting the notes. As weird as that sounds, before I started playing guitar, I thought the famous guitar players were the luckiest ones because they were trying their luck and just hitting all the right notes. That's so funny to even talk about. I can't even believe I'm talking about this. But yeah, misconceptions as a guitar player. Do you have any? If you have any misconceptions, please leave them down below in the comments. I would love to hear some of your own. Why did you guys change out the Behringer X32 to the PreSonus 24R? To get extra XLR outs, 2U instead of 3U? That's a great question. I believe you're referring to the dragged under in-ear monitoring setup, and this is it right here in its current state. And the reason why we got rid of the Behringer X32 is because it died right in the middle of rehearsal. We were playing and went boo, and then the sound kind of came back, but the screen is now dead, and then now the sound no longer works, and the screen, it's toast. It's totally toast. And it survived for 4 years of straight years of touring, so it did okay. X32s aren't that roadworthy or bulletproof. Moving to the PreSonus gear, the 24R PreSonus was strategic in that it's less rack spaces, it's more inputs. The software, the controlling software is much, much, much better than the Behringer stuff. The Behringer stuff is garbage, to be totally honest with you, but people still use it because that's just what all the front of house and venues are used to. But like using the interface, the X32 interface on an iPad, it's archaic. The PreSonus software support is vastly superior. It sounds better, not the software, the hardware. Also, I know the PreSonus folks, and I can get support if we have a problem. So yeah, also it's smaller. So yep, PreSonus 24R is way better than a Behringer X32 all day long. Any tips on how to start learning video editing and video production? More and more, I'm seeing musicians/engineers having to get good at video production stuff as well as audio. Scott, that is a great question. Honestly, I would choose a video editor. I don't know what system you're on or anything like that, but I mean, even as something as basic as iMovie, which is free on Macs, start there, shoot some footage, and just start playing around. If you're coming from the audio world, I don't think it's too dissimilar. I've had buddies that have been longtime audio engineers and mix engineers and really have no problem with the video stuff. It's really the same concept, trimming and all this stuff. YouTube tutorials are your friend. That's where I would get started. If you're curious about something, just go on YouTube and watch some tutorials. I don't think there's a need, if you're trying to learn video editing, at least in a secondary capacity, to go to any sort of, school or sign up and pay for online courses or anything like that. I mean, you can, that'll fast track you for sure, but yeah, YouTube tutorials, that's where you start. And then you're gonna get more software specific and more footage specific, and then you have to go down the camera route, etc., etc. It's just like pro audio. There's so many parallels to pro audio and video gear. But to answer your question, yeah, just look at some YouTube tutorials and reach out to some of your favorite video guys and ask them questions as well, because usually they're always super stoked to talk about the video stuff. Don't know if this has already been asked, but what is your favorite set of passive pickups? Mike the Throat Davenport. Why did they call you the Throat? I don't know. Anyway, back to the question at hand. Favorite set of passive pickups? I don't know if I had just one set. One set would be the DiMarzio Fortitude in the bridge with a 30th anniversary path in the neck. The other pickup that is probably my favorite is a Seymour Duncan Invader. Gone back to that pickup lately in a lot of my stuff. It's just so good. It's so good. Bare Knuckle Nail Bomb, Bare Knuckle Aftermath are also very, very, very nice. Those pickups for me are pretty much like where I want to land as far as tonality and feel and output. And also by the way, the Invader, since it's so crazy hot, I really love what an Invader does when you back it way off the strings. Kind of opens up and it doesn't get so overbearing with the low end. It's a really, really wonderful pickup if you just really back it down. So yeah, those are my favorites for passive pickups. And that does it for this episode of FAQ Monday. If you have a question, feel free to leave them on down below in the comments or tweet at me. It's always a good time over on the old Twitter. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Fluff out. If you liked the video you just watched, please consider subscribing. And if you want to further support me and what I do, consider using some of the affiliate links down below in the description of this video. Go on over to Sweetwater, buy yourself something, and help me out at the same time. It's a win-win for both of us.